Good morning, student. Today we learned about the next topic of chapter number 8, internal structure of heart. The heart is divided into right and left side by the septum. Human heart is four-chambered, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. The atria are the superior chambers. These atria are thin-walled receiving chambers which are separated from each other by interatricular septum, which has an oval depression called fossa ovalis. Here see in the figure, this is the oval depression which is called as fossa ovalis. Fossa ovalis, during the fetal development, the oval allows blood to pass from right atrium to the left atrium by passing the non-functional fetal lungs while the fetus obtains its oxygen from the placenta. This fossa ovalis is the remnant of the embryonic aperture called foramen ovalis. Fossa ovalis, it is the remnant of the embryonic aperture called foramen ovalis. This is the fossa ovalis, which is the remnant of the embryonic aperture called foramen ovalis. Remnant means what? A piece of something that is left after the rest has gone. किसी का बचा हुआ टुकड़ा बाद में रह जाना, इसको कहते हैं remnant. Foramen ovalis, it is an opening or shunt. It is an opening or shunt in the heart tissue, allowing blood to flow from the right atrium to the left atrium during fetal development. It usually closes 6 months to a year after the baby's birth. Superior vena cava, which is also called as precaval, inferior vena cava, which is also called as postcaval, and coronary sinus opens into the right atrium. See here in the figure, the superior vena cava. This is the superior vena cava. This is the inferior vena cava. This is called as precaval and this is called as postcaval. The superior vena cava, inferior vena cava and coronary sinus, all these three cavities are opens into the right atrium. This is the right atrium. This is superior vena cava is opens, then inferior vena cava is also opens, and coronary sinus is also opened into the right atrium. Opening of the postcaval is guarded by a eustachian valve, while the Thebesian valve guards the opening of coronary sinus into the right atrium. Here the eustachian valve, this is the eustachian valve, which can be opening of the postcaval is guarded. That means the opening of the postcaval, this is the postcaval, that means the inferior vena cava. The opening of the inferior vena cava is guarded by a flap-like structure. This flap-like structure is called as eustachian valve, which is also called as wall of inferior vena cava. It directs oxygen-rich blood from inferior vena cava towards the foramen ovale, and away from the tricuspid valve during fetal development. This is functional during the fetal development, eustachian valve. Then the second valve, which is called as Thebesian valve, which guards the opening of coronary sinus into the right atrium. The Thebesian wall, it is the caudal remnant. The Thebesian wall, it is the caudal remnant of the embryonic sinoatrial walls. Its role in normal physiology, it is not known, and some believed that it may prevent the regurgitation of blood into the sinus during the contractions of the atrium. Contraction of atrium. Regurgitation means what? It is the name for leaking heart valves. In case of heart, the regurgitation means it is the name for leaking the heart valves. Due to the high blood pressure, due to some reasons, the valves can be leak, and this leakage can be prevented by the Thebesian valves. The four pulmonary veins opens into the left atrium. The four pulmonary veins open into the left atrium. You can see in the next figure. These openings are without walls. The pulmonary veins openings are without walls. Both atria opens into ventricles of their respective sides by atrioventricular apertures, which are guarded by cuspid walls. That means both atria, that is right and left atrium and right and left ventricles, both these atria opens into the ventricles. That means right atria opens into the right ventricle and left atrium opens into the left ventricles. These are opens by atrioventricular apertures, which are guarded by cuspid walls. These cuspid walls are tricuspid wall and bicuspid walls. The tricuspid walls, which is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Tricuspid wall, which is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. It is present in the right atrioventricular aperture, and it is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle, which helps keep blood flowing in right direction through heart. It consists of three flaps or cusps, hence it is called as tricuspid wall. It prevents the backflow of blood from right ventricle to the right atrium. It can prevent the backflow of blood from right ventricle to the right atrium. Then the second wall is called as bicuspid wall, or it is also called as mitral wall, which contains only two flaps. Hence it is called as bicuspid wall. It opens to allow the blood to be pumped from the lungs to left atrium. It also prevents the backflow of blood from left ventricle to left atrium. Bicuspid wall is present in the left atrioventricular aperture. All these heart valves helps in maintaining a unidirectional flow of blood and also avoid backflow of blood. That means all these valves are helps in maintaining a unidirectional flow of blood and also avoid backflow of blood. Here in this figure, the tricuspid wall is here, which contains three flaps or cusps. Hence it is called as tricuspid wall, which is opens or which is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Right atrium and the right ventricle, which can also prevents the backflow of blood. Also prevents the backflow of blood from right ventricle to right atrium. And here this is the bicuspid or mitral valve. This is the bicuspid or mitral valve which can prevent the blood, which can prevent the right ventricle. Then the second or inferior chambers, which are called as ventricles. Ventricles are the inferior chambers, thick walled pumping chambers. That means atria are the receiving chambers. This is the atria, right atrium and left atrium. This is the atria which can be receiving chambers, and this is the ventricles, right and left ventricles, which are the pumping chambers, which can be separated by an interventricular septum. It can be separated by interventricular septum. That is, right and left ventricles are separated from each other by the interventricular septum. This is the interventricular septum. Wall of the left ventricle is more muscular and about 3 times thicker than the right ventricle. The wall of the left ventricle is more muscular and about 3 times thicker than the right ventricle. Why it is thicker than the right ventricle? Due to having to pump the blood to the body, due to having to pump the blood to the body parts. That means the left ventricle, in the left ventricle, the blood can be pumped into the body parts. Hence, its wall is thicker than right ventricle. The inner surface of ventricle show several ridges called columni corni or trabeculi corni, which divide the lumen of ventricle into small pockets or fissures. This is the columni corni. Here see in the figure, this is the columni corni, which are the ridges, which can be present on the inner surface of the ventricle, which are present in the inner surface of the ventricles. These ridges, several ridges, are called as columni corni, or it is also called as trabeculi corni, which can divide the lumen of ventricle into small pockets or fissures. It can divide the surface ventricle into small pockets or fissures. Then the lumen of ventricles also shows inelastic fibers called chordae tendineae. This is the chordae tendineae. See in the figure, this is the chordae tendineae. This and this. It is the chordae tendineae which is present in the lumen of ventricles. It can also shows inelastic fibers. These fibers are inelastic, which is called as chordae tendineae. It is the thread-like structure or thread-like bands of fibrous tissues. Thread-like bands of fibrous tissue which attach on one end to the edges of the tricuspid and bicuspid valves of the heart, on the other end to the papillary muscles. This chordae tendineae, the one end of this chordae tendineae, it can be attached to the edges of bicuspid and tricuspid valve, and other end is attached to the papillary muscles. Then these attach the bicuspid and tricuspid valves to the ventricular wall, that is papillary muscles, and regulate their opening and closing. That means this chordae tendineae, it can regulate the opening of bicuspid and tricuspid valve and closing of bicuspid and tricuspid valve. The right ventricle opens into pulmonary aorta and left ventricles opens into the aorta. The right ventricles, that is the right ventricles opens into the pulmonary trunk or pulmonary aorta, and left ventricles opens into the aorta. This is the aorta. Opens into the aorta. These openings are guarded by 3 semilunar valves each. This opening is guarded by 3 semilunar valves each. That is the pulmonary semilunar valve. This is the pulmonary semilunar valve. This is the pulmonary semilunar valves. That means the semilunar valve, that is pulmonary valve and aortic valve. The semilunar valve, the pulmonary semilunar valve and the aortic semilunar valve. Pulmonary semilunar valve located between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. This is the pulmonary semilunar valve which can located between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. Right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. And aortic valve which is located between the left atrium, and aorta. Left atrium and aorta. It is called as aortic valves. These valves prevent the backward flow of blood into the ventricles. These valves can prevent the backward flow of blood into the ventricles. Then the internal structure of heart is well explained in this next video. This video with
podcast, I'll be reviewing internal anatomy of the heart. The heart is divided into right and left halves and contains 4 chambers. The 2 upper atria, the right atrium and the left atrium, and 2 lower ventricles, the right ventricle and the left ventricle. The right atrium is a thin-walled chamber that receives deoxygenated blood from 3 veins: the superior vena cava, the inferior vena cava, and the coronary sinus. We can see the opening to the coronary sinus here at the floor of the right atrium. The right atrium pumps blood at a lower pressure, just 1 floor down into the right ventricle. This is the reason why it has a thin wall. It doesn't need any extra cardiac muscle because it's only pumping blood a short distance. This is the interatrial septum. Interatrial means between the atria, and septum is a term that means a barrier or dividing wall. The interatrial septum divides the right atrium from the left atrium. The fossa ovalis is a small oval-shaped depression located on the interatrial septum near the floor of the right atrium. It's the filled-in remains of a previous opening in the fetal heart called the foramen ovale. Our first valve is the tricuspid valve. It's called the tricuspid valve because it's made up of 3 cusps or flaps. The tricuspid is also known as the right atrioventricular valve or right AV valve because it's found between the right atrium and the right ventricle. There's a good mnemonic to